Hi, my name is Nicole Adams, and this is my reflection of the P21 Partnership for 21st Century Learning for Education 527 Emerging Technologies. Throughout this presentation, I will discuss the influence of media and technology that is used in the education system, more specifically used in my classroom. I will also discuss my reflective thoughts of the text and videos provided in my Education 527 course. Before I continue, it is fair to say that I teach elementary-aged physical education. Therefore, technology is not necessarily widely used in my classroom on a day-to-day basis. The use of media in my classroom influences the beliefs and behaviors of my students in a few different ways. I choose activities in my class that students can do for a lifetime, such as yoga and other outdoor activities, to name a couple. I encourage students to go home and show their grown-ups the activities they did in class. This not only promotes students to continue their active lifestyles outside of school, but because they all have school-issued devices and the resources I gave them in class, they can find physical activities on their own that sparks interest to them that we might not get to in class. When I do use media and technology in my classroom, it also makes learning new things more interesting and fun for my students overall. It gives them motivation to try new things and different ways to be physically active so that they will want to do it for a lifetime, and that is the main goal of my class in itself. Some media tools that I found have been appropriate in my classroom include Flipgrid, which is used to make short video clips of my students demonstrating physical activities. This was especially helpful during the distance learning periods during last year and this year that we have had so far. Image Play is another one that I use often, which is an app that turns pictures and videos into GIFs. These are helpful in my classroom when students are in groups trying new exercises and I cannot get around to every group. They follow along on an iPad that is in front of them, and all I do is simply put the GIF on the iPad and the students follow along and copy the exercise and are much more successful in that way. Lastly, I have had students use Google Slides and Sheets when doing small projects in my class. Again, this was especially helpful when we were in our distance learning periods at school. All of these have been successful and a tremendous help to my physical education class. I've used technology as a tool for many reasons, especially during the periods of time when my school was in distance learning last year and also this year. Zoom and Google Meetings has been my main form of communication during this time, as it has allowed me to have live lessons with my students. Schoology was another helpful communication platform and continues to be, as I would upload my lessons directly to students' courses. If you are not familiar with Schoology, it is a social networking service for K-12 schools that allows users to create, manage, and share academic content with students and their parents. In my class, ethical and legal issues surrounding technology don't pose too many problems and don't come up that often. I do a nutrition and exercise plan project with my upper elementary students that involves them doing research on their school devices. Before they complete the project, students have already taken a survey and a small class on plagiarism and making sure that they are using valid sources. They must also get their sources approved by me before retrieving information taken from the sources in that project. I have a couple takeaways from the text and videos that I found were important to note. Number one, there are multiple pros and cons to using technology in schools. For example, a pro could be that it broadens students' thinking and mindsets, as well as it promotes different ways to educate all students. So not just one group of students are being successful, but all students are being successful. A con to using technology in schools might be if it is not being used correctly. Sometimes, for instance, some teachers just use the technology because it is there and it might be easier access for them. They don't necessarily have the intention to use it for higher level thinking skills that the students need. Number two, we need to teach from the bottom and then go up, meaning that we need to start with the teachers. If teachers do not fully understand the technology that they are presenting to the students, how are they supposed to successfully teach the students to use it? That is my presentation on the P21 Partnership for 21st Century Learning for Education 527, Emerging Technologies, and the reflection that follows. And here are my sources. Thank you so much.